Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, Nintendo can go to hell, and we're talking about Doom. It's dangerous to go alone, so the Nintendo Cartridge Society goes with you. Welcome to a special Thanksgiving episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, joined as always by my co-host Mark Mitchell. We are talking about Doom on Switch today. We've got two other little episodes coming out also today, talking about Skyrim or LA Noire. I guess they're two separate episodes. So if you want to listen to either of those, you can check those out. Also out today. But right now we are talking about Doom, Mark. Doom!
That's right. So I think the last Doom I played was the original on PC.
I think that is also right of me. The Doom games obviously have a very super violent aesthetic. They take place in or around hell and maybe outer space. So yeah, they frequently seem like they are outside of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, but I had heard really good things about the most recent one, and it was kind of like, I don't think anybody was expecting it would ever come to Switch.
Right.
But
because why? I mean, is really the question.
Well,
why would it?
And so it was released or announced and released in a fairly short time frame, kind of a surprise announcement. Was it part of a Nintendo Direct? Is that where we heard about it?
Where we heard about both it and Wolfenstein 2.
That's right. So I picked it up when it was released, I guess a couple of weeks ago at this point, and I've been playing it. I think I'm about halfway through the campaign. That's based on no information other than my assumption.
Like halfway.
It feels like I'm probably halfway. And I've played a little bit of the multiplayer. I have got to... So basically, and I'm not very... in general, I'm not very caught up in graphics or frame rate or anything like that.
Right, but I mean, it should be mentioned that you do not just play games on the Nintendo Switch. You put a lot of time into the original Destiny, and you have played a lot of games on other current generation hardware.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're not like a total stranger to it.
Right, but I'm just not, I guess what I'm saying is I'm not comparing this version of Doom to another version of Doom.
Right.
For me, I think I am one of those consumers that Bethesda talked about in the video that they released announcing the Doom release date, which is a different audience that hasn't experienced these games before.
Yeah.
And from that perspective, I'll just talk about a little bit. Technically, for me, the game is really cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, tell me what's really cool about it technically.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the selling point of all of these ports, which is the portability factor.
Yeah.
I've been playing my Switch more and more in portable or handheld mode.
Yeah.
And
is there a reason for that? Just
because I think what's happened is when I first got the Switch, I was babying it a lot. It was like a new electronic. I
you
was
were
really
cradling
I was really
singing to it.
Yeah, I played 1-2 Switch a lot.
Just the one game from 1-2 Switch.
The worst game.
Yes.
And so I think I was just really worried about taking it out and having it break or something like that happen to it. But I've gotten used to it. So I had to go to the mechanic, and so I brought my Switch with me and I was playing Doom, and it was that's incredible, and it looks so good. It looks really good on handheld. And I actually think it looks fine docked as well. So I don't have a 4K TV or anything, but I guess and I don't mean this as a slam at all, but to me it reminds me of the same sort of graphics as BioShock had.
Okay,
the original BioShock, which that's a good looking game. There are better looking games.
Sure, but it is no matter what, BioShock, no matter how much it ages, no matter how blocky it looks, is always going to be an impeccably designed game. Do you think that the design of Doom, the visual design of Doom, helps it maybe succeed in a little bit lower fidelity
Yeah, I think
visuals?
so. I guess I don't really know what I was expecting, but I wasn't. Honestly was kind of taken aback and was not anticipating the like care
Mm-hmm.
that is put into this game.
Yeah.
It's a really, really well crafted and constructed game, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having so much fun playing it, and I think part of the reason is a lot of the first-person shooters I've played recently on other platforms, like the first Destiny, like a lot of Call of Duties, just like games like that, they are very, I guess, what are derisively referred to as like corridor shooters.
Yeah, sure.
They're in most of like the original Destiny. There's not very much verticality to the levels.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit where you'll like jump down, but there's no like there's no real platforming in any individual like strike or encounter.
Yeah.
And what I'm really enjoying about this game is the combat feels good. Like the combat is fun, and it gets you like right into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like literally you like wake up on a table and immediately like two demons are running at you, and then so you just have to like destroy them.
Just fight your way out of it.
Yeah. But the platforming in this game is like really fun and satisfying as well, and the levels
interesting.
are really open. Like there's the loading times are a little long, but that's because it's loading in a huge amount of data, and then there's no loading in each like individual stage,
Mm-hmm.
like section that you're in. And the levels are really huge, and they encourage exploration. Like in my playthrough, it tells you like how many like secrets are in each, or like
okay.
power-ups are in
Yeah.
each level, and I've rarely get half.
Right.
Usually it's like much less.
Are they like collectibles or?
So it's like there's a couple of different ones. There's like a man, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like a glowing red orb thing that you like smash, and then you can choose between powering up or your ammo
Mhm.
capacity, your armor capacity, or your health capacity. And then there's also like suits. I think they're called like Praeton suits or something like that, which are basically like the suit that you are wearing, just like spacesuits basically.
Yeah, yeah.
That when you find those, you collect things that can power up your own suit or like your own abilities, and then there's a weapons upgrade drones that are around. But yeah, so it really encourages exploration in a way that I wasn't expecting, and the exploration is fun. Like the platforming is really fun, and it's like
That's very surprising to me. That like, I mean, first person platforming is always tricky, and the games that do it right are far outnumbered by the games that do it wrong. And it's so you're saying that each level or each world feels like a like little sandbox to run around, and less like encounter based or like scenario based or like.
no, I think it's a good combination of both.
Okay.
So it still feels very like focused.
Mhm.
So I always know what I'm supposed to be doing. And
Yeah.
I always know like where I'm supposed to go, but there's no penalty for hanging back and trying to find like secret paths
Yeah.
that will have like the power-ups and things like that. They will also have um like so another thing that you can earn throughout the game is runes, and the runes give you like certain abilities. Like when you get the hover boots, when you double jump, you have more control over your direction,
Okay,
and like
yeah.
things like that. And the
That's nice that those like upgrades are tied into your mobility, your ability to explore the space. That feels more, or less like just powering up like numbers or whatever.
well, that's one of them, because like other ones are the when you kill or you can perform like a power mover. I can't remember the nomenclature of it.
Yeah, sure.
But basically, like you stagger an enemy and they glow, and when they're glowing, you can like
Finish
run up
him.
and exactly.
Right.
And when you do that, they drop like health or ammo.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the runes like powers up the how like close you have, like you can be further away and it'll still collect it. Just like things like that. It just generally makes it like improves your the way that you're playing the game. And
Yeah,
there's like 3 slots, but there's, I don't know, like 20 runes that you can possibly get, and the way you get those is by completing like mini challenges that are just like scattered around the levels. You'll find like this big glowing like rune thing, and then it takes you to a different section where you just have to complete a challenge that's like you start with 10 seconds and you have to defeat 10 demons using the super shotgun, and for every like you can only move for 3 seconds after you do a kill. So you have 3 seconds. And then,
weird.
Right, and so it's like, and you have 30 seconds to do it, and every time you successfully kill, you get 3 extra seconds. So it's like stuff like that where it takes you a couple of times, but it always feels fair. The entire game feels like really balanced. So it's like challenging but fun. You have these like awesome weapons. The whole idea is that, you're this guy on Mars, you go to hell, you come back to Mars. The rift between hell and Mars is open, and you're just like, from the beginning you feel powerful and cool, and that's kind of like the whole thing of the game.
Let me ask you this, do you, as you're like of going through the game and like upgrading either your abilities or your stats, do you feel like you are growing the character you want to grow, or does it all just kind of feel like you are leveling up at the same rate that like the levels get harder? You know what I mean? Like, do you feel an ownership over the character as you're generating him?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, it's definitely no like RPG or like Skyrim, but there are definitely choices in the way that you like the extensions that you add to your weapons, or I guess like the mods or whatever, like things like that, or where you value your like putting your power-ups. Like I put it all into ammo because I'm not very like precise with my shots. I'm pretty much like spray and pray.
Just shoot it everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like I need as much ammo as I can, and then I need health.
Right.
And so
because while you're missing everyone, they're attacking.
I get attacked. Right. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I
not good at hitting stuff. Not good at not getting hit.
But I'm having a blast.
Yeah, it's great. That's all that matters.
I really cannot like this game took me by surprise. There's a lot of other games that are on Switch that I want to play, but this is the one I keep going back to.
Yeah.
Because I'm having so much fun in the campaign, and I can play it anywhere, and it looks amazing on handheld.
How does the drop-in factor of it, where like you can just pick it up and play for a little bit, like connected to like the portability of it?
Yeah, it's fine because there are like encounters and then areas of like rest where it's more just for exploration or the next platforming before you get there. The only thing I have to remember to do is make sure I hit a checkpoint, because the first time I like put the game into sleep, and then when I came back I forgot where I like went to play something else, and I hadn't saved recently, or there wasn't a checkpoint. I didn't hit a checkpoint, so I had to like go back a little bit.
This is actually something I think that we are starting to encounter just now that there are so many games on Switch, where there was a very long time where it was like, all I play on this thing is Zelda, so I never have to think about I'm turning off I'm never actually quitting out of the game. But and also like when I'm playing like Rabbids or whatever, like that's basically the only game I'm playing at that time. Ditto Mario Odyssey. But now that there are like other games that I'm spending a lot of time in, it's kind of a crapshoot when I pick it up. Like, did I have this game on last time?
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I guess I really don't have anything to say other. Just like really, I have no complaints.
Yeah, that's great.
If you or like anybody had a passing interest in it or wasn't sure, like I definitely recommend it.
So this is first-person shooter, right? Does it? I'm not the biggest first-person guy. Does it feel good, or does it kind of? I mean, I guess. Do you think Patrick, as someone who doesn't really play first-person shooter games, would be able to like get into it, have fun with it? I like action games. Have been kind of steering away from like more violent stuff as of late, but like, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. So, it is still a first-person shooter, right, and it is very violent. And you're doing that violence against demons, which, by the way, the enemy design in this is really cool. Like it's all very like 80s metal.
Yeah. Very stylized.
Very like stylized. Even the music is very like that, like butt rock type.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like you're gorily dismembering demons that are like huge and have like rocket packs on them, on their backs. but you're still like it is still a gory explosion of blood.
Yeah.
And so
And you're wielding a shotgun, but it is a super shotgun.
No, there's two. There's just a regular shotgun.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you do kind of have to be ready for that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Because it can get very intense, and that is the time when the performance suffers the most. Is sometimes when there's a lot of action on screen, the frame rate dips a lot.
Oh yeah,
but most of the time it's not that
ever
bad.
like to its detriment, where like you can't play it, or
No, I mean you can play it, but it's definitely noticeable.
All right.
So like for you personally, I don't know.
Recommend for me, or don't recommend.
Yeah,
for me.
I don't know that you would like it.
Okay.
Because
I am pretty on the fence about whether I should even get into it or not.
Yeah, but
so many games.
It's so many games.
So many games.
I also just want to talk about the multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
for a little bit, because I only played a couple of matches in it. Was terrible because it requires a little more precision than the game itself, where it can be a little more forgiving. But it feels very like, I think I talked about this when I first picked up Doom. It feels very much like a PC multiplayer type experience.
Yeah, sure.
Like less than like a Call of Duty like Twitch shooter. But it's super fun from what I've played. My internet connection, my like Switch is in like the corner of my house, and so the Wi-Fi is sometimes spotty there. So I'm sure anybody who was playing with me was super annoyed by the lag.
So that's the same apology that Mark issued for his teammates in Salmon Run in the last episode.
But that's another great thing about playing in handheld mode. I can play wherever where the internet connection's better.
You can move to a better internet connection. All right, Mark, let's close out our discussion on Doom here. And that's going to do it for this little mini part, or this mini episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society. We've got 2 more out there today talking about LA Noire and Skyrim. So check those out if you're interested, or don't if you're not. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We are at NinCart Society and Nintendo Cartridge Society, respectively. Send us an email, nintendocartridgesociety@gmail.com. Rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Mark and I write about comic books on retconpunch.com. Olivia Duncan made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. Here is 8-Bit Betty's music. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.
What's a Creative Podcast Network?